It's interesting topic. It's art of healing, and we have for that our special speaker Suparna Basu with us. I know Suparna personally for a long time, and I think she is a perfect speaker for today's topic because she has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation over 13 years, and also she is a qualified science teacher. So you can see where the science meet spirituality. So not taking much of your time, and welcome, Sister Suparna. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear clearly? So a very warm welcome to you and to those who are joining online. I had the thought that I wanted us to start this meeting on a different plane. We've all given our time to come here. But think of yourselves as you're coming for us to meet for 1 hour only, but we're going to meet the family. So this is a family gathering, and this includes those online as well. Just for 1 hour, just think, bring that thought in your consciousness. We are here as a family. We are meeting after a long time. And when we meet family after a long time, what happens? How do we feel inside? Any answers? Yes, happy. And are we smiling? We are, yes, that's excellent. So let's start with that consciousness. What I'm trying to do is bring up this awareness of happiness, because we have gathered here to understand more about the art of healing. And I was reflecting on this topic and the words that are used, art and healing. And art is a very beautiful word that brings up a lot for us. So what is art to you? How would you recognize art? Paintings, yes. Yes, sculptures. Art is a style, absolutely, yeah. Creativity, skills. So we are all skilled. Whether it's a housewife cooking, she could cook one type of lentil 10 different ways, that's a skill. An artist paints, draws, portraits, whatever he wants to do, but it's an expression. All kinds of art, whether it's a sculpture, whether it is a painting, a landscaped garden, is a work of art. But we also see art in workplaces. So I did promise that I would share my experiences. So coming from a science background, I also have 23 years experience in the financial sector. So going from teaching biology to working in a bank, I had to develop a lot of skills. But really, it's only a transfer of skills. So if you're a teacher of one particular subject, you can learn anything and relate it to others. So you use the knowledge of, say, in finance to be able to help others become financially literate. So it's a skill we can use, we can develop upon, and the more we practice, the more perfect we get at it. And so the initial fears I had when I joined this new line of work in the financial sector is will I be good enough? Oh, I don't know. And interestingly, others had more confidence in me than I had in myself, including my sons. But over time, I realized how much I enjoy meeting people. And to me, that became the reason for the inner healing of my fears and anxiety. Because I realized I don't have to fear them. They are here because I know more than them, especially in that field. But I'm going to come to healing here. And good evening and welcome to those who've just come in. I'm going to share quickly with you again. Let us not forget that we are playing with this scenario for 1 hour. We are meeting as a family. So it's after a long time we are meeting. So we are happy, right? We are smiling. That's nice. When we say the word healing, what does it bring up for you? It's nice in a family, we share, right? There are no instructions or orders here. It's just a simple sharing. The word healing, what does it bring up for you? How? Feeling good, better, yes. Better than I was. Yes, very nice. Recovering. What would you say we are recovering from? So what was shared is for the benefit of our viewers. If you feel ill, you want to get back to good health. So you recover. Yeah. So when you feel ill, that means the body is not very well. Yeah. What other areas would you say you may be feeling unwell in? Yes, my feelings. You feel unwell because of the feelings that are coming up within you? Yes. And what happens when those feelings come up within you? You become disturbed. And that sort of creates a dis-ease within yourself. Yeah. You're not comfortable in your skin, as is said. And therefore, we want to get rid of that dis-ease because eventually it will create disease in the body. And over a long period of time, and this is what happened to this body too, because of years of anxiety, worry, wanting to be perfect in the daily routine of looking after the family, holding a full-time job, looking after the children, cooking, cleaning, buying, shopping. Over time, the body will react. It will say stop. And then you feel, why is this? Why am I feeling this way? Why is the body not healed? Why is it not well? But everything today we know is psychosomatic. We create, we are master creators. Just like we create families, we create sculptures and paintings. We even create changes in our well-being. So healing is a wholeness, a holistic well-being state of being. But the well-being is of the entire human being. Human, hummus, mud. And if you think about this body, which is my body, what do you think it is composed of? What do you think the body is made of? Yes, over 70% is water. What about the bones and muscles? We call it like mud, with dust to dust. Then there's air in all the alveoli sacs and the lungs. And there was a science article which the front page said, it was in a science magazine in W.H. Smith's, which said, are we bodies of light? And that was very interesting. It was a long, long time ago. I didn't pick it up to read in full, but it said, are we bodies of light? And the scientists are saying that every cell releases photonic energy. Now that is very interesting. Photonic energy, if there's light in the body, there's air in the body, which means the body should be really light. And then there is body warmth, so there is heat, the element of fire. So really, the body is made of the 5 elements, but it has all the fabulous systems that keep functioning, the circulatory system, the endocrine system, the nervous system. So many systems. It's a perfect machinery for me to use. When we come to the usage of the body, how do I use the body? Well, we walk, the legs bring us here, we work, we use the brain, because the brain processes every thought that I create. And when I make a decision that I want to create, say, a beautiful landscape garden, can I do it without the body? I can't. I need the hands and legs. But who's the thinker? Who creates the plan? The mind. The mind is thought. Yeah. But can you see the mind? Does the mind function by itself? Who's using the mind? If I keep a body someplace and it's on a life support machine, can it use anything? Can it do anything at all by itself? It's a question we never thought about. And it was only when I started to study Raj Yoga, which means Raja is king, Yoga is connection. What is this connection I have to make to feel the sovereign of myself, of the body, the mind, the intellect, the activities, the decisions, the thoughts that I, the being in this human form, is creating? The nervous system, the circulatory system keeps pumping the blood to keep the body going. The nervous system passes the neurons pass the nerve impulses from, to the brain. When the brain processes every thought, every impulse that I create through thought, and then it comes into action. But it happens so quickly in a millisecond that I'm not aware of it. And yet I say, my brain, my hand, my body. So there are two entities. If this is my body, then who am I? Would anyone like to hazard a guess? The soul, yeah. What's the second part of the word human? Being. Now, interestingly, being, the word being is a verb, a doing word. Now, at this moment, if I asked you, what is your state of being at the moment, in this present moment? Don't look back at the past. Don't go into the future. Just now, what is your state of being? How do you feel? You will know yourself. It's not a rocket. No, the question is not difficult. Simply, what is the first feeling that comes to mind? Nice, peaceful. We did start off with being one family, and we are happy to share. It's a safe space. Calm, peaceful. Peaceful comes from silence. Yeah. So I'm very grateful that you're listening so intently, because your eyes and your faces tell me that you are listening intently. So your mind is focused on the words that are being spoken. Right? And because it's not wavering, because it's not thinking of other thoughts, it's in the experience of peace. So silence is a state of being. Peace is the experience from a silent mind. And when the mind is silent, and I, the being, I'm in a state of peace, do I feel ill or at dis-ease? No. It's nice that you're reflecting. And I hope our audience, the family members online, are reflecting too. And I'd like this in a family environment to be interactive. So at any point, if you have any questions or you would like to share something, please feel free. When I was working in the bank, I remember there used to be blocks, like building blocks, big blocks, and they were one on top of the other. And the first one was life insurance, the second, home insurance, third, car insurance, investments, and the bottom was income. Now, in life, in this human journey, in our human experiences, we set up, these are the insurance policies we insure ourselves with. We insure our home in case there's a calamity, then the insurance company will pay out. Life insurance in case of death, my family will be looked after. We have investments. It's a bit of a gamble. It can be high or low. We lose some, we win some. But it's always the intention behind it is to make more money. Yeah. And then we have our income. If I remove the bottom block away, what happens? Yeah? What will happen if I remove the bottom block which says income? Everything will collapse. Everything will collapse. And then what's the feeling within? How do you feel when your income goes? Despair, yes. Fear, insecurity. What will happen now? Fear about the future. How will I look after my family? How will I pay the car insurance, home insurance, mortgage? A lot of fears come in. And this is what has happened over time. We have become human beings filled with anxiety, fear, and everything that we are doing in our physical life is geared towards making us feel more secure. So, for example, if I got up and went for a glass of water, the thought might be, I better go quick in case someone takes my chair. Now, I can't take this chair with me. But if I return and someone's sitting on this chair, what's the first thought that might go through my mind? They are sitting on my chair. I sat here for 10 minutes and suddenly it's become mine. Yeah. And same thing happens with everything that we do. We think we own everything. Because in life, we have got so used to our physical stuff being looked after, you know. Physically, we've got personal trainers, we have massages, everything to look after our physical health, doctors, surgeons. Then our emotional health, we've got psychologists, psychotherapists. Yes, we consult them if we have any issues. Then we have our intelligence quotient, where we can become whatever we want to, doctors, engineers, scientists, archaeologists, whatever we want to, we can learn. There's plenty of this physical knowledge there, plenty of stuff. Everything that we learn on earth is focused on the physical body, our work in this life. We are so focused on this that we forget who is it that is trying to learn, to gain the information, to make a better life, to get better human experiences. There is the fourth quotient, which is the spiritual quotient. That is the being in this human form. And when I begin to understand I, the being who is saying, this is my body, this is my work, these are my possessions, when I begin to understand myself, I then begin to realize what is behind the fears, the worry, the anxiety. I begin to understand that I am a master creator. I am the one who creates my inner world and my outer world. Would you agree? Or do you still think that whatever disease is in this body, the consultants and doctors will take care of it? Who knows this body better than I do? Can anyone else know my body better than I? Do you think? Okay, we'll come back to that. That's interesting. But here, how is that going to help me? Because living in this world, we have become used to human experiences. We want everything going our way. And what are these human experiences? Really, if you think about it, they're based on three things: people, which is relationships, our possessions, our houses, cars, and our positions. Whether I'm a housewife, a mother, a father, a teacher, a doctor, whatever position in the working world. And my needs are what? Basic needs are food, clothing, shelter. And my happiness is dependent on health, wealth. Yeah, I'm happy, I'm content when I have health, wealth, and happiness. When I have all of this, I'm happy, I'm content, I need nothing, and therefore I'm in a state of well-being. True? You're shaking your head. Would you like to say more? Sorry, if you get a, then our viewers can hear. Our viewers can hear that. Come on. Not necessarily. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Many will have all of this: health, wealth, happiness. We've got 10 different varieties of food to eat every day. We've got big cars. And yet there's that feeling of something missing. Yeah. You could be sitting in your flashy Lamborghini, and all it needs is a scratch, which I noticed the next day. And what happens to my happiness? A scratch on the car because somebody jealous may have done it. And what happens to my happiness then? It goes to show it's not the body that is feeling happy. It's not the body that is experiencing these feelings. It is I, the spirit or the being in this human form. So we cannot separate the two. To enjoy a wholesome life and living, the physical has to get along with the metaphysical. Metaphysical simply means that which is beyond the physical elements. If we look at the energies on Earth, energies on Earth, we've got electrical energy, light energy. When I move, it's kinetic energy. And if I start running, it converts to heat energy, and so on. But there are also energies, other energies that we experience. So when we say we come together as a family, we look at one another. Let's try this, all of us. Let's look at one another. Give each other a smile. Look at each other and give each other a smile. Yeah, that's right. And look at it. How lovely the smiles look. And immediately everything changes. I started feeling a certain level of happiness just watching those smiles. How often do we smile? Because we get so involved in what we are thinking about that we forget the very simple things in life. Yeah. When we are dependent on others for our well-being, we put ourselves in a very precarious situation. Because we have got so used to human experiences, we depend on everyone to feel loved. When they say, I love you, a mother, when a child says, I love you, mom, she feels so happy. And one day the child grows up and goes to school. And he grows up a little more and he's playing with his friends. And the mother feels, I'm not needed anymore. And there's this feeling of emptiness. I'm of no use to anyone now. My child doesn't love me as he loved me before. That comes from a great energy of attachment. And I call it energy because it is something that I have created. Again, physical. Human experiences. I'm dependent on others to give me company. Then I feel good because I can converse, I can interact. And it is a fact. Humans are gregarious by nature. No man is an island. We don't want to be alone. There's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely. How many of you here enjoy your solitude? That's a good number. And those online, solitude is enjoying your own company. That's a very healthy state to be in. So I'm inviting you to just have a few moments of solitude, meaning being with yourself. Just be in the experience of silence and peace. Give your mind an instruction as a master that I do not wish you to create any thought because I'm choosing to be in silence. So let's do that for half a minute. You are giving the mind an instruction to be silent, and you are observing the mind as a master. Thank you. Was it possible? Oh, very good. How did it make you feel? Calm and relaxed. Great. Anyone else? Anyone who wasn't able to? The mind was creating a lot of thoughts. It was. That's okay. What you can do, a technique is, be detached from those thoughts. Don't buy into them. Don't go into any feeling or why are you coming? No question. Allow them to float away like thoughts. They will come because we are such masters and we've been here for such a long time that we've collected them all in our subconscious mind. So it's okay, they will come up when they find. But when you don't give attention to them, they will lose their energy and move away. And this is why it is said, wherever attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, things grow. So we always have a choice. Where would I like my attention to go? Albert Einstein, the father of science, said, we all live in this world. We are all creating. We are scientists, engineers, archaeologists, so much. But everyone faces problems and obstacles. And he said, no problem that is created at a certain level of consciousness can be resolved unless we raise our level of consciousness. And when I heard this, I was quite young at that time and I didn't understand what is this consciousness raising. It was only years later when I started studying Raj Yoga. And the first thing that a senior yogi teacher said to me is, you are a being of peace. And I looked at her, I said, no, I'm not. Because I really wasn't experiencing the energy of peace at that time. My mind was in turmoil. There were a zillion thoughts that were going on. But as I went along, she says, try it. You are this. And the only two things she said was, this is body, that is soul. Separate. Physical, metaphysical. But you are the master of this body. If you want to raise your hand, you can raise it. If you want the body to be still, let's all be still. And you keep your body still. You don't want the hands and feet and legs to move. That's great. Not only is the body still, I just feel the minds are still too. Yes? Those online, this is a good practice because remember, we are trying to heal. Healing is a wholesome, very holistic way of being. These are little practices. If we practice talking to the mind like a child, and then the body, it'll give you the feeling of being the master. And this is what Raja Yoga means. Raja means king or the sovereign. Yog is link or connection. Whom are we linking with or connecting with to feel like the king? Because we have lost our way. We have got so used to addictions like human experiences for everything, happiness, joy. We've been looking to each other for all of this. So every Friday night, where's everybody? Waking up with a hangover the next day. Yeah. We can have a hangover of a different sort and it can last us the whole day. We can hang on to who we truly are and enjoy ourselves. Yes? We turn over. And a great teacher that came to us in 2000 to 2020 was COVID. Everything went into lockdown. People weren't going to work. There were no flights, except few. And I was going into work because we were staff facing in the bank. But there were friends whose family friends were in Wuhan in China. And the worry, how much worry they had. At that time, I thought, how can I help? But you can't go anywhere to help them. And in the study of Raj Yoga, they teach us to be silent because we are beings of silence. We come from the home of silence. Our very DNA radiates purity, peace, love, joy. We are meant to be in a state of bliss. But dependency on human experiences at all levels has moved us very far away from who we truly are. But the only thing I could do was I would sit and meditate, sit in solitude, sit in silence, and have yoga, the soul, the metaphysical, sentient, living power in this body, the light of these eyes, connecting with its parent. The parent whom everyone looks up to. Souls of all religions call out to. The protector, the guide. And you might think, I don't believe it because I don't see him. In COVID, the most Googled word, do you know what the most Googled word was? G-O-D. God. People were in pain. Their family members were in hospitals. They were not able to breathe. Breathing apparatus wasn't available. There was fear. There was anxiety. Social media didn't help. Newspapers didn't help. Suddenly all these vaccines were coming up. They had hardly been tested. Now, it wasn't a case of one side of the world says, thank God it's them, not me. It affected the whole world. Yes? People were going through loneliness. People couldn't go out anywhere. Suddenly, all those human experiences we were dependent on, what happened? Could we depend on any human being for our well-being? Those who were alone, who lived alone. Loneliness was a big killer. It created a lot of mental issues. Yes? And in that time, there was benevolence as well. The skies cleared, the air cleared. In India, they say the Ganges, which has become so dirty, completely cleared up. It was like nature was returning to its original self. Nature was healing. But those who were optimistic, they looked at it from a different angle. We have our family with us. A very dear friend whose son was in Wuhan, worked as a teacher. Obviously, everybody was so worried. And that's the meditation that was going on here. Talking to the soul, wherever you are safe. Seeing him as safe. And she was overjoyed when he returned. As a mother would, isn't it? As a parent would. We saw the brighter side as in all those who are students of Raj Yoga. Zoom came up. First it was Skype, and then Zoom came up, and everywhere, all the students thought, oh, we'll relax, we can't go to the centers. But he has a different plan. He says, no, I've come to teach you Raj Yoga, to be the sovereigns. So you have to wake up. So it was a wake-up call for all of us. Many classes on Zoom started. Many around the world were asking us to meditate for their loved ones, to call upon God. You see? So, and some said, well, we don't know about God. We don't know. We said, that's okay. God is not a belief or a concept, right? Because here, sitting here, the family members are here. I can see you all with these eyes. I can hear you with these ears. But there are those online, on the webcast or on Zoom, I can neither see nor hear. But it doesn't mean they don't exist. Something to think about, isn't it? It's like a caterpillar. The caterpillar is moving along, happily eating, gorging on leaves. If you tell the caterpillar, do you know there's the sun, the moon, and the stars? It'll probably turn around and say, what are you talking about? But then that same caterpillar, so involved in its senses, goes into a cocoon. Goes into a cocoon. And after a while, what happens? What emerges from there? A butterfly. Now, the same insect that was like plodding along heavily is suddenly light, flying in its resplendent colors, flitting from one flower to another. And after 14 days, what happens? Gone. It doesn't know it's going to be here only for 14 days. But in those 14 days, it enjoys itself. It is being itself. I'd like to tell you the story of a psychologist who was traveling the world to find the happiness index. What makes people happy? So he traveled the Western world, he went to the East, and finally he went to a little village, a tribal village in Africa. He had a translator with him, and he saw a group of children, about 40 children playing on the fields. And they were from ages of 3 to about 14, 15. And he wanted to test how these children think and, So what he did was he took 3 plates of cookies and put them by a tree. And he got the children to stand in a row a distance away. And he said, the translator said to them, we'll have a race, all of you, whatever your age is. You'll stand in a line. You will race to the tree, and whoever comes first will get all the cookies. Yeah? And all the children got ready. So get set, go. The children held hands and they ran together. The little ones were in the middle and the older ones carried, held them, swinging them, and they all ran together. They reached the tree together, picked up the plates of cookies, brought them, formed a circle around them, and shared them all. And this American psychologist was stunned. And he got them, a translator, to ask, Why did they do that? One could have got it, or maybe two. And the oldest one came and said the word Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. It is in service in humanity. It is humane. Now, this is a tribal village. They've probably not even seen a mobile phone or a road or a proper building. And we today have everything, and yet we have, WHO says depression is the highest, is first in the list of illnesses. So where did we go wrong? And this is why this is the time when we are in pain, that something has to change. We have to change the way we see ourselves, the way we are. We have to understand. To change something, like Einstein said, raise your level of consciousness. We have to become consciently aware of who we truly are first, instead of focusing so much on the external. Can I go within to understand? Are there any questions you have at this moment? Science. So
I think there was a lot of people that came before him.
Yeah.
Like Newton, a lot of the Greeks and Indians, and
Yeah. I brought Einstein as because he's known as the father of science. And he also said one thing, that he said, we all human beings have the ego of thinking we are doing everything, we know everything. But there is a point up above who at this point in time is controlling everything. And we can't understand that. We couldn't understand it. But when I came to study Raj Yoga, meditation, I realized what this was about. Raj Yoga is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the only scripture where it says he speaks in first person. It is the word, which in a lot of books it says, and then the word was spoken. Many children came, like Christ, Abraham, and then finally the words were spoken because society was still disintegrating. And it's interesting. I said, yes, it is actually spoken in first person. Interestingly, nowhere does it say that this is a scripture for Hindus. But it does say this is a scripture for all of mankind. It will teach you values to live by. And it teaches us life skills. Because life skills, to deal with problems, situations, health, there is no Bible out there. No one tells us how to deal with relationships, problems with health, problems with our thinking, our ill feeling. And this is why at this point in time, we are looking at a great transition. There are a lot of calamities that are happening, wars taking place. Even 50 years ago, I never saw so much conflict within families. Agreed? Would you say? People in the same family have become very lonely. They cannot even converse with one another respectfully and lovingly. There's that missing element of love. What if you had everything? Big bank balances, big cars, but no love, respect, or compassion or understanding within the family. Would you still be happy? Because you have everything. No? How many say no? Yeah. They say where there is no love, even water in the pot dries up. The plants die. If nature responds to our energy of pain and suffering, what can nature become if we alter, transform that energy into happiness, love, respect? Are we able to do that? That is a question each one of us has to ask ourselves. Because just like electric energy cannot be seen, the energy of love cannot be seen either, but it can be experienced. Yes? And this experience comes from what? How do I experience love? Would anyone like to share? When do I say that, oh, I'm really experiencing love, I'm really happy, it makes me so happy?
When someone care for me?
When someone cares for you. So that human being is taking care of you. It's coming into the act of caring, whether it's cooking food for you, taking care of your needs, and you feel the love. You feel appreciation and gratitude. Right? How important that is for us, because the DNA of the spirit or the soul is not the 5 elements. Things are good. Things we can use. We're not saying we're not going to use them. There's nothing wrong with having ambitions and wanting to create, because like sculpting, painting, it's an expression of the inner being. It's just like a silent communication. Yes? You see how many theses have been written on what's behind Mona Lisa's smile. Right? We don't know. I don't know. But if I wanted to write something or I create something, it's an inner expression of something that I want to convey. It's a silent communication. But it's everyone's free will to read it, to see it, but it's my expression. There was a real incident I'd like to share with you. This was shared a while ago by one of our senior meditators and teachers of Raj Yoga. And she was talking about this person, this lady she knew in Alaska, who also happened to be a student of Raj Yoga. And living in Alaska, she was very, very active. But one day she was going to her car, and as she went to open the door, she was stabbed several times in her back. Fortunately, it missed the spinal cord. And then the next time she came to consciousness she was in the hospital. But she had no feeling, neck down. And this was what happened. So this teacher met her a few years later, and she says, "What happened? Why are you walking with a stick?" And this is how she narrated her story, her experience. And she says, "Then what happened? And I mean, you were like sort of paralyzed, neck down. How did you come to walk?" And she said, "When I was in hospital, I was very angry. Very, very angry. I had done no wrong. Why did this happen to me?" And then a week later, a counselor came to her. You know, they provide counseling sessions. And he said, "I want you to think of one person you're very safe with, you feel safe with. And with this one person, I want you to go back to that day when this incident happened." And she said, "Absolutely not, because it was so painful. I am not visiting that." He says, "That's okay. We'll try again tomorrow." Came back. Bring that person you feel safe with. Keep him or her with you and revisit. She didn't do it. It took 6 weeks. Gradually, she started trying. And then it came to a point where she could go back to that incident and not feel any pain towards that person who had stabbed her. She says, completely detached. It happened. Let it go. And along with the counselor, there was a person from the church who said, every day, write 3 things you're grateful for. And she started to do that. All of this was going parallel, side by side. And then she realized she had so much to be grateful for. And that is the time she decided to go for a physio, to walk, and then she started finally walking. And therefore, to heal ourselves, we have to take the step to let go. Because when we hold on to things, somebody may have said or done something 15 years ago, and it's like today. They said it to me 5 minutes ago, because we quickly remember it. And it's as though that incident is happening now. So we make it more firmly ingrained in ourselves. We don't let it go, and then we say nothing changes for us. Even if a deer is chased by a pack of wolves, it's a fight or flight mode. What would the deer do? Would he fight the pack of wolves? What would the deer do? It would run. It would take flight, isn't it? It would take flight. It's not a rocket science question. It's common sense. When you can't do something, you need to either take flight or move back. It's discernment. You need to be able to understand the situation, what you need to do. But after a while, because it will outrun the wolves, they go away and it goes back to grazing. It goes back to its normal life. All animals have the tendency to do this, except human beings, because we hold on. So the same energies are there. The same people are there, same situations. We have our personal relationships. We have a work family. We have friends and family, right? Nothing changes on the physical level, but everything we can change on an inner level. So can I replace anger with love? This is something we have to think about for ourselves. Because remember, we are healing ourselves. Can I replace anger with love? Yeah, we want a nod or a shake. Which one are we having? Yes. Can I replace greed with contentment? I am happy with what I have now. I can always make plans to have more, but I'm not attached to the outcome. Yeah. This is why it is said, play in the spirit of the game. What does that mean? The word spirit and game is there. That I, the spirit, am here. I change my titles from being a worker, a bank official, or a teacher, or whatever. These are all labels. Like once I was a baby. My eyes, I was only looking for, I wasn't even looking for love. Everybody loved me. I wasn't thinking of, oh my goodness, I don't have a PhD. Where am I going to get a job and how am I going to? No. Baby gets looked after. And when it starts to crawl, you can take him to or her to a mall, a hospital, ward, at home, here. The baby will freely crawl. It's not concerned about who's looking or not looking. He knows he will get changed and fed. We were babies once, but what happened to us? As we grow older is this conditioning. You're a boy, you're a girl. You do this, you don't do that. And we become so limited to the 5 senses. We begin to believe that whatever the eyes and ears are showing us, whatever our skin is feeling is true, like the caterpillar. Or we want to fly. Transformation. So all of us who want to transform, want to change, we have a choice. Can I build a bridge where I can exchange anger, greed, jealousy, attachments to pure love and a detached involvement with everything? Detachment is nothing other than moving away from attachment. Now you might feel, but attachment is good. Of course, I'm attached to my family, my children. Attachment brings a need. It's needy. It causes dependency. Right? But if I am, and we call it love then. Oh, I love you so much, so never leave me. Yeah? I worry about you because I love you so much. Now, worry and love are 2 opposite energies. But I'm creating, they're only energies. They're not something physical. But if I truly love them, I will allow them to grow. Like my son, when he got a job in London, we were in Wales first. He says, Mom, I have a job in London now. I said, wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Are you happy? Yes, I am. He says, are you happy with this? I said, of course I am. But because Raj Yoga teaches that all of us are travelers here. We come and go in our own time. So let me change my labels from being a mother or a father, or a teacher to being a traveler. And along my travels, I go through many human experiences. Let me enjoy those human experiences. The soul playing many roles. So let me be a player. I don't want to stand on the sidelines and just watch the world go by. I want to be an active player. This is detached involvement, that I'm not getting stuck to anything. Because if I get stuck to something, I won't learn something new. If I have something here, I'm not letting go. Not letting go. But then I'm also not receiving anything. I open my fists. And what happens? What happens when we open our fists? Let's all open our fists freely. What is mine is for you to share, and what is yours. But also, when I have this attitude, everybody comes to me too. And what do I get? Cooperation. It's this acceptance. I learn to accommodate everyone because there is great joy in interacting now. Simply because I've changed the love that comes from attachment to a love that is universal. I don't see only 5 or 7 members of my family. I see everyone as my family. So we come to this bridge. It's this confluence. It's a meeting of souls in their human forms with the one parent who's giving us this very knowledge that we are discussing today. So I would really recommend you to just climb over that high wall, societal wall. Society creates a lot of walls of religion, on gender and whatever. But you look on the other side and explore it and see for yourself, not because I'm saying, for yourself. Can I make a difference to myself, to my wholeness, my well-being? Thank you. I don't know if you have any questions.
One second.
You told us about silent mind, but it's difficult to silence the mind because we always have thoughts.
Sure.
So maybe you could give us some advice on what kind of thoughts we could have to calm the mind down.
Sure.
To silent,
make I
it nearly silent and to feel better.
Okay.
To recover.
Yeah. I'll just share what I did. I gave myself one therapy, replacement therapy, right? If I have the thought of worry and I start fighting, I don't want to worry. I'm not going to worry. No, I look at the situation. Okay, I'm detached. Put it on a stage. That situation, it's a worry. I'm a traveler here. And along my travels, I know my journey. It can be a cross-country race or it can be an obstacle race. So a situation can come. I'm creating thoughts about it, but I check. Do you need to think about it? Let me focus 90% of my energy on understanding the problem. Once we've understood the problem, solution comes. You'll realize you don't have to think much about it. Replace anger with love. Be loving to yourself first. We have to again go back to who am I? My DNA is wisdom, purity, peace, love, happiness. My DNA is not worry, anger, jealousy. No, I'm not here to compare or compete, because each one of us is on our own journey. We travel together, but we are still on our own journey. So I would say replace any thought that's coming, understand it first. We've got to reflect on it, and that is meditation. To understand, gain clarity. But to get that clarity, I need the knowledge of my journey, myself. So this is the bridge we come to. And that was the importance of the confluence. The confluence is the meeting. And there's only benevolence in this, in understanding spirit. Thank you.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's a process. When you're angry, you can't feel love. Yeah, angry. But this is where the process that we practice is detachment. And it doesn't come overnight. That's why it's a journey, because we are changing many lifetimes habit of reacting. You see? So anger is an energy. But why do I get angry? Let me go behind the scenes, behind this curtain in my mind. What is it that is making me angry? It is something they've said or done. And for myself, I say, okay, so why is it you getting so bothered? They have a right to say or do what they want to do. I may judge them. That's not right. But for them in that moment, that is right. So anger will come because we've made it our normal nature. But I can work with it because when I get angry, I feel the effect of anger myself first. That is why it's a journey. This is why I have to hold so much love for who I am. I'm a grand being, a great being, a master creator. I'm a guest here, a traveler. I come and I go. Is anyone here planning on staying? Or online? Any one of us planning on staying eternally in this body? No. So we may as well go happy. But we have to work towards it. Yeah. Yeah, last question we'll have.
So, sister, the question is about the love. I have seen being not a millennial, being and having a lot of expectation from your own self sometimes make you feel, more on a critical side. So even though someone says you did this wrong, you are saying yourself 1,000 times. Someone has pointed out a mistake, and anger comes because someone, like other person, just said once, but you said yourself a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it by myself because I'm sort of perfect. So I get angry with that, and which created a lot of personal life. So if I know my brain is little bit on the critical side, so it's how being born and brought up. But how to manage that relationship? I'm trying to meditate on it. Maybe this is a common norm which I find a lot of youngsters and they have sort of problems. So yeah.
Yes, and that is, you're not the only one. All of us go through it to a lesser or greater degree. Because when we are perfectionists in the sense we want everything perfect in the physical, whatever task or job you might have. Be easy, light and easy. Last week, there was a lovely talk here. Think less, think right, and feel light. And it's a journey, like I was saying. The more we practice this, and I have used to overthink, so I can understand where you're coming from. The more you talk to yourself, but play with this idea. I'm a traveler here. This is an obstacle race. There's some situation that has come to me because I am the only one who can solve it. Let me not take things personally. So this detachment, it's a detached involvement. Water off a duck's back, and that will come with practice. Yes, it is only a perception. How I perceive myself, how I see myself, the way I see, the way I become, that way I become. And again, we focus a lot on food as well. The lighter food you eat, natural food. Body is natural, so give it natural food or plants, plant-based food, and you will see how light your mind, your thoughts, your feelings will become. Practice it for 1 month. Go on this vegetarian diet. And, even like onion and garlic, they're strong enzymes. They block the nerve impulses passing to the brain. A few years ago, British Airways scientists were asked not to consume garlic if they were on flight the next morning because it slows down reflexes. So little things like that. We have to bring changes in our physical daily life to feel the effect. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and it'll become part of your life. But practice make it perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So we'll just have a short meditation. And we will meditate on a few words. So as before, if we can still our bodies in a comfortable position. And in your mind's eye, experience this beautiful room that is full of light. This is my sacred inner space. This is a space where even a vibration of a thought cannot enter. It is a space filled with a golden yellow light. In the experience of silence, I become aware of myself as a luminous star radiating peace. Peace is my innate nature. It comes from a mind that is silent. I still myself in this sacred space, and I become aware of a wave of peace that is flowing towards me. These vibrations envelop me. They hold a healing power, and I feel safe. I begin to realize the presence of my divine parent, the one who was always connected to me, but I had lost the connection. The one who comes at the end in this age of transformation towards a better future, a better world. And as I transform, holding his hand, into a being of peace and love, radiating these vibrations to the wider world of souls, of nature and animals, I begin to experience myself as a divine being. And my inner world begins to change to a healthy and happy one. And with this transformation, my outer world of friends, family, nature begin to change. And this is the only service that I need to do to return to my innate, eternal nature of peace. Holding this power, I return to my present awareness, filled with gratitude for the presence of my divine parent, the guidance, and the grace that He offers me. Thank you. Om Shanti. I, the soul, am a being of peace.
Thank you, Suparna, for the wonderful talk and all the tools and tips given. Before we go, a few announcements for the future events. Our regular talk next week, same time, same place. And the topic is dream, aspiration, and reality. Also, our regular reflective meditations every Mondays and Thursdays, 7 to 7:30, which is in-house. And we do have every Sunday morning meditation, but that's online only. And timing for that is 10 to 10:45. If you wish to join online, you can go into the Inner Space Family website and register for it, and you will get a link to join it online. And also, there is one more stress-free living on Saturday, the 5th of October, in the afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. So whoever wish to join, please register it on the Inner Space Family website. So once again, thank you very much for joining us, and have a safe journey back.